6 bad reasons to do the wrong thing. Recent studies on cheating in relationships do not bode well for the romantics among us. 44% of women and 41% of men have cheated on their partners at least once while they were in steady hands. The number of unreported cases is probably much higher. Of course, at this point, you could start to think about what actually counts as a fling and where the boundaries of cheating are drawn. The answer is quite simple. When we start to lie to our partners, we intuitively know that we are on the wrong track. This can be even before a face-to-face meeting with or without intimacy. Cheating starts in the mind. When our thoughts and feelings are more often with other people than with the person we think we're in a relationship with, the floodgates are practically already open for a fling. The right path in a relationship is the one that can be taken without secrecy. If you still want to investigate the causes, in today's video, we present you the 6 most common reasons why people cheat in relationships. If you like our videos, feel free to support us with a thumbs up, subscribe to Psychology in Mind, activate the little bell, and get ready for the videos we upload for you every day. Number 1, they don't want to commit or can't commit. People with a fidelity problem actually have more of a commitment problem. They constantly feel like they're missing out on something or someone if they stay monogamous. When we're young, the next fling is only a mouse click or a swipe away, so nothing is easier than to constantly go in search of the ultimate experience in terms of eroticism. Unfortunately, this longing always remains unfulfilled. You can think of this desire a bit like the second helping of dessert. The tiramisu does not get better with more of it. By the way, it would be unfair to blame nature for this, since it has programmed men in particular for maximum reproduction. What distinguishes our animal instincts from those of the animal world is the ability to assess the consequences of our actions and make conscious decisions. Number 2, they are bad at saying no. It's hard to believe, but many flings are downright forced on people who are bad at setting boundaries. This does not mean coercion. Some people find it difficult to say no and turn down invitations. To refuse a clearly ambiguous offer would seem almost impolite and unkind to them. People labeled as nice often slip into this dilemma. When they meet the hunter-gatherers among the night owls, they might find themselves in strange beds in the morning. However, a weak character is neither an excuse nor a free pass. If someone presents you with this reason as an excuse to cheat, you have 2 reasons to look for a partner with a stronger character. Number 3, they cheat on their partners out of revenge. This is where the sandbox wars from childhood unfortunately resurface in us behaviorally. If a child takes away our shovel, we destroy their sandcastle. Give and take in a relationship is certainly not meant that way. Just because a partner has disappointed us, cheating is not the adequate response. Unless you are completely hardened and emotionally cold, don't believe the myth of sensational revenge sex either. The only sensational thing the day after will be your guilt. Once the spiral of favors and hurts has taken hold in a relationship, action is urgently needed. But it should not take the form of cheating. Here, rather, love, respect, and mutual appreciation are in order. Number 4, love happens when we least expect it. Unfortunately, this saying doesn't come from nowhere. A lonely evening in a foreign city, a business trip, a bad Rico hotel bar. At least in movies, these are always the ingredients for an unplanned fling. Again, you have to weigh the consequences. If you are mentally capable of doing so. Once hormones have taken control of the situation, it's too late anyway. Some relationships endure such slips quite well. As with criminal acts, it makes a difference whether intent was involved or not. Whether one confesses to cheating or tries to get away with it is up to each and everyone. However, studies show that partners can guess in 4 out of 5 cases when such an interlude has occurred. Whether you get off better with confessions or denial, no one will be able to predict. Number 5, you have fallen out of love. In relationships, Flings are often not the actual reason for the subsequent breakup. They are just a symptom of things that have not been right for a while. When everyday life has crept in and both sides are only busy organizing children, household, and 2 jobs, togetherness definitely falls by the wayside. Sometimes, however, love simply drifts away due to the passage of time. In this case, of course, there are still many ways to deal with the failure of the relationship, provided that there is communication. But the essential question at this point is, do both partners want this at all? Betrayal is often the easier out of a relationship that has only existed as a roommate situation for years. In such cases, a fling can almost be seen as a chance to start over, either alone or with a new partner. Number 6. Needs remain unfulfilled. Sexuality is a point in relationships that should be a topic much more often than it actually is. However, hardly ever do both sides get what they really want. Men often lack the sizzling eroticism, women the tenderness and the admiration and confirmation. All of this wanes over time, as does romance overall. Even if the needs in this sensitive area aren't on the same page at the beginning of the partnership, which they rarely are anyway, they flatten out over the years, but not equally on both sides. Seeking passion and recognition outside one's own 4 walls, then, seems almost a logical consequence. The only question is whether an open conversation at the right time would not have been more purposeful. It's certainly more unpleasant than a passionate fling, that's for sure. But the main question you should be asking yourself is, what do I really want at this point in my life? And with whom? Today's conclusion. Back to happiness thanks to flings? Admittedly, there are couples who can actually use cheating as a chance for a new start together. The majority, however, fail in this breach of trust and can no longer get back on track together. Even if one decides to stay together, a stale aftertaste remains, which is breeding ground for constant jealousy and permanent distrust. You should think about all these facts for at least a second before indulging in the rush of hormones. Speaking of seconds, by the way, the average lovemaking session lasts 7 minutes. This fact alone would suggest weighing the consequences. At best, you've gained a few moments of passion, but you've lost an entire life together. That's it for today.
Thanks for watching. Did you find this information helpful? Do you have experience with it? We would love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and let us know your thoughts. For more resources about mental health, self-improvement, and psychology, visit our website. You'll find the link in the video description where you can also connect with us on social media and sign up for our email list. Take care of yourself and have a beautiful day.